Yeah. I'm here with my lovely daughter.
Hello.
Well, we've been having days back and forth about marriage.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Okay, introduce yourself. Okay, go on.
Hello, I'm Tara,
Okay, and I'm Opimai. Everybody calls me Opimai.
also known as my mother.
Of course, I am your mother. So anyway, we've been having this discussion about marriage of recent. I've been asking my daughter when she's gonna bring me that son, that special guy to me, and that she thinks she's not ready for marriage, or she's not met the guy.
Yeah.
So, what do you want from a guy?
Oh Lord, I think common sense is very important because a lot of people don't have common sense.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of people come from very nobody is perfect, of course, but you need to be willing to work on yourself. And I feel like a lot of people lack self-awareness about themselves and the way they need to improve, and then they now come and bring all this nonsense thinking it's normal and trying to impose it on the partner.
I'm guessing that nonsense you're talking about is about a man being the head of the home.
No, I'm not even talking about just the head of the home. I'm talking about in general. I feel like obviously this is me just speaking generically, or not everybody is like this, because otherwise I'll be saying everybody is terrible. But there are a lot of people who have experienced trauma. There are a lot of people who have gone through certain things that may have affected them in life, and they don't even know how it's affecting them till today. And they bring that baggage into a relationship thinking it's normal and thinking it's okay to do certain things that aren't right. So we can use the example of head of household, right? A man will say, some men will say, oh, I'm the head of the household, what I say goes. But they only prioritize themselves. They only prioritize their selfishness. They only prioritize doing what they want you to do. There was a TV show actually where a man asked this woman a question. It was like pop the balloon.
Yeah.
And he asked her like, can she be submissive? And the woman was like, of course she can be submissive to a sensible man, a man who knows how to be a leader. But if he's not acting right, or if he's not treating her well, or if he's not acting with sense, of course she can't be submissive to that kind of man.
Okay.
And the man said that he can't date her because it should just be known that no matter what, no matter the situation, a woman should be submissive, even if she's bringing the woman to hell. Like there's a certain level or a lack of wisdom when it comes to head of household or what a man should do. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of ideas have been warped for people to gain benefit from it themselves, rather than actually thinking of the family unit as a whole.
Yeah, but you must also understand that a man has his own ego to protect.
But your ego, but that's a problem. And I think we encourage men to have egos. Because even look what just happened now, right?
Yeah.
I gave a discussion about how a man said that a woman says she cannot follow a stupid man. And the next thing is you need to understand a man's ego. We're very quick to allow men to get away with a lot of things or mistreat women and hide it under certain things that a woman would never be able to do. Can I be rude and disrespectful, and somebody will say you have to understand her ego?
Yeah. Well, when you said that, maybe I jumped to a different topic entirely.
Okay.
That's possible. I wouldn't want a woman to follow a stupid person. If not, I would have done the same thing. But I mean, I wouldn't do that. So, but then I wouldn't say I'm the best in that topic. That's why I'm throwing it out there. Maybe someone will help me with my young daughter. Being a single parent, probably, people will see me as, in quotes, like, well, she doesn't even know what like to be married.
But the thing is,
how would she be able to advise
sometimes
a young...
I think being a single parent obviously can have its downsides, but it can also have a lot of good sides. And the reason I'm saying that is there are some people who literally try to copy and paste their parents' relationship in their own relationship, forgetting that their own partner also came from a two-parent household and wants to both want to copy and paste, and there's a lot of tug and war. Like understanding your partner, you're obviously my partner is not going to be the same as my dad or as my mom. Like it's going to be a different person. So you need to adjust, right? Maybe if when my own parents are, or if when you're angry or somebody you walk away or something happens with somebody else, right? Who, let's say they have, they don't like when people walk away from them when they're upset or something. Doing the same thing that you see your parents do isn't going to be productive, because it's not going to work for that relationship, because you're dating somebody who probably didn't grow up in the same neighborhood as you, who wasn't raised with you. So being an only child sometimes gives room for being open-minded. Because I don't have a certain template in which it has to be like this. I'm more open to being like, okay, this is new, like let me see how I can navigate towards this and this. You get me? Yeah. Like it's not as rigid. I don't impose that this is the only way, because I understand that there are many different ways. Yeah. So that's I would say that's like one of the things that is probably so good.
You don't think that coming from a single family home will affect your marital?
Of course it's going to like affect marriage in a sort of way. Upbringing is different. Struggles can be different at times, but in the grand scheme of, or like for example having that template, how two people show each other love, that kind of thing. Yeah. Of course it can affect in terms of trying to navigate, like maybe somebody else will be able to navigate quicker, Okay. But in saying that, I feel like it's also a very good strength going in understanding that things don't have to be a certain way, or I'm not copying and pasting what I see, and then when somebody isn't behaving a certain way, I'm like, my father doesn't do, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. When I was in my last relationship with somebody, for example, it was very difficult because there was a lot of my father, my mother, and it was like, but I'm not dating your father, I'm not with your mom. Their relationship is completely different. Even from hearing the characteristics of his parents, one of them is so serious, doesn't know how to joke, doesn't know how to do anything, kind of thing. But that person is a joker. The person I was dating was a joker. Like the dynamic is so different. So trying to copy and paste, as I said, into something else, when you yourself have a different personality from your parents, the person you want to date has a different personality from your parents, it can be very problematic at times if you're not willing to get out of your own head and realize there's more to the world. But that's what I'm saying. There's benefits, which may sound crazy, of coming from a single household, and there's also its disadvantages.
Yes, you saying that, I observed something in churches.
What?
It's strange. Anytime there's going to be a wedding, they're always talking about married couple. If you've been married for 10 years, married for so years, come out and advise the couple. I have never heard them talk about a single parent coming to talk about their own struggle, to give them an idea on how to maneuver their new life. It's almost as though the single parent don't have anything to offer the newly married people. What do you think?
I don't think that they don't have anything to offer the newly married people. I think a lot of people just think that if somebody wants to advise on marriage, it should be people who are married. But obviously things don't always work like that. Sometimes people who have come from certain relationships or who have experienced things can also give good advice to others, can also give great warnings. But it's just the dynamic of people's thought process. Oh, newly married people have been coupled, they need to be counseled by married people. You get? Yeah. So it's just I think it's just something that comes to their mind immediately without seeing that there are actually a lot of other people who have ideas, or a lot of people who have like 2 cents they can give. The same thing goes with even for example, a woman may not have a child, but it doesn't mean that when something goes on with your child, she doesn't have solid advice to give. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people may not seek a woman who does not have a child to get advice on children. but it doesn't mean that they're not educated. It doesn't mean that they don't know how children can behave. It doesn't mean that they don't know how to connect with kids. It doesn't mean that they don't know how to, or some people are educated. Some people they have a wide variety of different.
Some people even have a gift, this unique way of getting to people. But because of what they don't have, they think.
But I think that's everything in life, though. In a lot of things in life, humans are very like closed-minded, or we think a certain kind of way. Let me not say we, but in general, they think a certain kind of way. Some people are so rigid in the way they think, in the way they are, and that's why I was talking about marriage. Like, having two sets of parents is wonderful, of course, it's beautiful, but a lot of times the things you see or the things you understand are just within a small box, but it takes somebody who's willing to see more to step out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then how about what the Bible says? Okay, as we are Christian, what the Bible says about married couples.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they shall leave their parent, they should become one, and the man shall be the head of the home. And most of the time, I find out that the man is demanding to allow himself to rule, or how will I put that? I don't even know how to put that now. The man wants to be the one to give the final, like you said, the final decision.
So I think that this Bible, right? Of course, I believe in the Bible. I think the Bible has a lot of wisdom to share, but I feel like people also use the Bible for their benefit. If an armed robber wants to steal, they look for a scripture that says God helps those who help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to do something bad, they can look for a scripture, use it out of context to preach whatever they want to do. We see it all the time in church. We see it all the time in our daily life. For example, when it says leave your parents, leave your mother, it tells the man, but yet us women are the ones changing our name. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are like, that have been input in the Bible, a lot of things that have been mixed up. Even apparently taking last name isn't even in Nigerian culture. In the African culture, it was never originally that women would take the husband's name. That started in Europe, Western culture.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yes, it started in Western culture. In a lot of tribes in Africa back then, or even in Nigeria, it was not the way for a woman, apparently from what I was taught, to take the man's last name. So that's just one aspect that kind of went off board. But in terms of head of the household, that's one of the things that I feel has been taken and has been muddled up into something that it shouldn't be. And the reason I say that is, I see it kind of like as a paradox. God says, okay, man is the spiritual head of the household. But when you read the Bible and it talks about what it means to be the head, when the disciples were fighting, they want to be the leader, they want to be the head, God told them that to be the head, you must be the last. So what does that tell you?
That you must serve.
That you must. It's not about you. No matter. It's not about I have the final say. But it even puts you in a less position than the envisioned idea that men have, that I'm the head of this household. So I feel like in that way, and when the Bible is like, okay, respect and love your husband, it's supposed to be when he's serving, and like, because he's supposed to put you first, the family first. Sacrifice. But obviously, when you love your husband, you don't want to see him drained. You don't want to see him like tired. And your love for him, or your desire to respect him, you guys will work together to build something. But this concept of, I'm the head of the household, you are also the last person in the household, according to, it's like a paradox. I don't know how to describe it. But a man will come, I am the head of this household, what I say goes. And then this whole concept of women, housewife, meant to be cooking, meant to be cleaning. The Bible talks about this virtuous woman as a woman who's outside. She's in the vineyard. She's working. She's making clothes. She's not like the way people try to confine women in a certain way. Sometimes when I'm like, it doesn't match exactly what the Bible is saying or what I've been able to gather from the Bible. Because I was troubled at a point in time. I remember like, why would I want to get married? Right? To a man that I have the final say. And the life of independence that I had being able to decide if I want to eat chicken, if I want to do this, if I want to go left, if I want to go right, all of a sudden just goes to one man, right? That I'm married. Why would I want to give up all that to be married for the sake of what? At the end of the day, love is there, but when you figure out that you don't really have a say or you don't have power in your own relationship, resentment starts to kick in, anger starts to kick in. But according to what the Bible says, it's not the way a lot of men are out there are putting it. It's not meant to be like that. Your wife word, if anything, should be at the front of everything. Especially if you have to be the head to be the last.
Interesting.
So that's how I feel, because otherwise, if it's not like that, if it's head of house, wherever he says he has the final say, it's like God created me with a mind. God said, when I'm going to create her with a mind. She's going to have her own say. She's going to be a brilliant person. She's going to get education. Not for me to be put under the thumb of a man that will now tell me what I say is the final say. It's weird.
Like a remote control.
Like a remote control. It's weird. It's very, very weird.
Yeah. It's sometimes it gives me a bit of headache when I actually watch some of this Christian movie and I see a man beating his wife and they say it's okay. Like she has to keep praying.
Physical abuse is not okay.
Exactly.
Everybody, disclaimer, is not okay.
You know,
if they are beating you at home, carry your bag and go. Your life is more important. No, now, because the person will remarry.
Yeah, if the partner dies, obviously they will. It happens
after they beat the person to death.
It does happen as well. Women too beating men.
Yeah, that's very normal too.
It is.
I mean, not normal. Let me not say it's not normal. It happens a lot, but it's very wrong. It's very wrong.
Yeah, well, like you will see a lot of this, and they keep so many Christian movies I've watched of recent. It's always about the man abusing the woman and is getting away with it, and you just have to keep praying and believing God to touch the man while this woman is emotionally damaged.
You know what? Things like that stress me out, because it's also like, it's like a man will cheat, stay, pray. But the moment a woman cheats once, that's it. A lot of times, I'm not saying that, a lot of times men will say no because of their egos, because of, how can another man touch my wife? Like, I don't know why the idea is women must do stuff ahead. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of, as I said, and that idea, right, of suffering, it gives men the ability to do a lot more nonsense. The reason I'm saying that is because this is something I thought about. We were learning this in school back in the day. While I was studying neuroscience in one of my classes, they were talking about men and women, and how they say women mature faster and things like that, and how it's very normal for when a boy does something, boys will be boys. Boys will be boys, and they'll grow up with that statement, boys will be boys. While a girl, if she does something wrong, she's quickly reprimanded, she's quickly disciplined, she's quickly told that this is not okay, this is not acceptable. If you use that same energy for these boys, when they grow up, the standard of behavior will be a bit different. Because if you constantly say, men will be men, a man cheats, but men cheat, you are enabling certain behavior. If a woman cheats, she'll be she's a shebo. She'll be told all these negative names. An unloyal woman, a woman that does not know how to keep her family, a woman that has children. The shame alone is enough to make a woman just not
commit suicide. We've had women commit suicide.
Yes, the shame is a lot. But then the dynamic for a man is men will be men. Do you see the difference? It's not equal. We need to start holding men accountable for certain behaviors, and stop asking women to just suffer and keep quiet. Let's also, if you want to criminalize cheating and say shame, let it be for both parties. Let it not be men will be men, men cheat, men blah 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 blah. Like, it's just excessive for me. When I hear it, I'm just irritated and I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah. Well, Hmm. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should consider becoming a marriage counselor. What do you think?
Which marriage counselor? Like in Nigeria, when a Nigerian man comes, she not cook my food, she not do this, and I say both of you are working, yes. Yeah. Both of you are contributing financially, yes. So when you came back from your own work and you arrived first, you couldn't enter the kitchen and cook. I don't think a lot of Nigerian men will not understand. So let them go and counsel themselves with their family members who will understand their ways. That's another thing I want to say. Back in the day when women were working,
Yeah.
when women were at home, right, they were like taking care of the kitchen, they were cooking, they were cleaning, they had no other responsibility but that. Housekeeping. It's understandable that as a man, when you're coming home from work, that you expect your food to be ready, that you expect for things to be put in order. That's 100% understandable. But in today's time, things are expensive. A lot of times we need a two people income to be able to survive and live a certain standard of life. Do you know how much education is? How much it is to buy a house? How much it is to buy a car? It's not always easy to do these things by yourself. So, well, if you have done it by yourself, it's also a blessing. God has blessed you very well. But for a lot of people, it's not easy to maintain a certain lifestyle by themselves. So when you've now removed a woman from the olden days ideology of kitchen and cooking, and she's working like you, bringing in money like you don't also put all the responsibility of the household chores on her. It won't work. In this day and age as well, they're also saying women are more inclined to leave men in relationships. In marriage. So a lot of people say different things. That this is just a statistic that they've noticed. But there are different speculations. Some men will say it's because women don't know the meaning of marriage anymore. While some women will say we've gotten to the point where, as a person, right, I can be financially stable. I can be stand on my own 2 feet, and having you there is more like is nice, of course, when you have, as I said, a 2 people income and things like that, but it's not necessarily a necessity for me to be able to eat. When you abuse a woman, back in the day when she had nothing else, a lot of times they were trapped within the home. You beat her, she has nowhere to go. Beat her or insult her, she has no money of her own. Before she can buy, she has to come to you to ask for food or for whatever. Now, because she's working, if you emotionally abuse her, if you physically abuse her, she has an option to get out because she has money by herself.
Well, you see, some of these women, because they have money by themselves, have decided to be very disrespectful, even in their marriage, just because they feel they have the money, they can do whatever they like. So they remove the respect they're supposed to have for each other because they now feel that,
but
I have money.
But we're saying the same thing, right? When a woman is in the kitchen and she's working and she has no money, right? And she's collecting from her husband and he becomes disrespectful. Isn't it because he's the one who holds all the power? He holds all the money. So now we have a 2-game place where a woman comes in. She now also has her own money. What people will be disrespectful?
But it is wrong.
It is, of course, it's wrong, right? It's wrong to be disrespectful. And if anybody who's just naturally disrespectful, that's a character problem. You need to go and reflect on yourself and become respectful. But I feel a lot of the time, for somebody to disrespect, there's a core reason in it. So I'm not condoning disrespect or anything. But if I feel like you're talking to me somehow and I don't like it, some people don't have the ability to kind of, let me not say the ability, but they weren't taught to like emotionally regulate. So the first thing will be, how can you talk to me like that? Do you know that? I've done it. Rather than, hey, do you know like that? Rather than, hey, you spoke to me a certain way. Let the person cool down. You spoke to me a certain way. I didn't like how you did it. You know, there's ways you can calmly express yourself, and there's ways that you can come across as disrespectful because you're hurt or upset about something, and both of you are flaring up, and both of you just seem like you're insulting and disrespecting each other. Meanwhile, the problem could be something so simple, but both parties don't feel heard, or the woman doesn't feel heard, or the man doesn't feel heard. Disrespect isn't like a woman thing. Because a woman has money, she's automatically disrespectful. Disrespect, as I said, isn't for a man. Oh, he has money, he's automatically disrespectful. There's so many different things aside from money that can make you disrespectful. And having the money to be able to walk out whenever you want is also like a security blanket.
Okay.
Before, if you say something mean to me and I don't have money, I have to look. But the more, and I'll be insulting you. I'll be insulting you in my head, not you, but I'll be insulting him in my head. But when I have money, excuse me,
you don't dare.
You don't dare. And then it now looks like the wife is disrespectful. You know that she was insulting you in her head when she didn't have money.
Yeah.
It was always there, but she didn't have the money, or she was scared that where will she go? Where will she start from? Now she has money. Everything that is in her head can come out of her mouth.
Yeah, I guess so.
There are so many women like that, and they get angry at their husbands, they get upset, they get they have all sorts of negative emotions, but they have to bottle it in because they know that maybe they're not secured. Or they don't feel secure, basically. So that's a whole different. I think a woman having money comes with different layers.
Yeah. But then we just still need to be to be careful not to let the money, the power get into our head.
But that goes both ways. That's the thing.
Home.
We need, as I said, right? It goes both ways. Because we'll have conversations. A woman has money, now she's disrespectful. When you had all the money, you were disrespectful 24/7, but nobody said anything. So it goes both ways. But as I said, we're always very ready to say, she has money now, she's disrespectful. Somebody doesn't just have personality from sky that just appeared from nowhere.
Yeah. I guess so. You're saying that. I know, for example, in my previous relationship, I could say that when I first walked away, I think your father didn't think I could make it because I didn't have anything. I didn't have money. In his brain, he felt like she would come back crawling and begging. But we went through it. It was painful. It was a painful journey. But we did go through it. So sometimes I feel for me, women need to start taking a stand.
You know what?
Sometimes face it.
You know what
that
it is?
Fear. They need to
fear,
get it out.
That requires bravery.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody has bravery. And it's like everybody has different characteristics, right?
Yeah.
Some people, this man is disrespectful, but at least I have a roof over my head, my child is okay. Some people are ready to wait till the child is fully grown. Some people...
I know their life is gone.
Yeah. Some people are like, okay, I have nothing, but I'm going to go outside and do it anyway. You know what I mean? Some people are fearful. They don't know what's out there. Some people don't have family members. Some people don't have people they can trust. Some people, the step to go out there, everybody's life is different. What everybody has gone through is different. What it takes, for example, a woman may have seen her mother struggle and die in an abusive relationship. She does not want to die, so she will leave. Another woman somewhere else didn't see her mother die, so she's willing to stay, sit and wait.
And then another woman, I heard somebody talk about this as well, because she was from a broken home. She felt she didn't want the world to see her as a failure, just like the mom, and that's the reason she stayed. And she's going through that pain.
Listen, I feel like for a lot of people who are in serious predicaments where they don't want to feel like a failure, or they don't want to feel like they have failed, there are certain things you can do. One of them being, you can remove yourself from the situation and give a boundary. So you can say, look, you have a tendency to be emotionally abusive and it's affecting me. I'm going to leave this scenario because I can't be around this. But if you are willing to work on yourself, then maybe we can try to rekindle this thing. Like, you can set a boundary or set a tone for your partner without being in that abusive relationship, but still trying to maintain and keep that relationship, right? As I said, everybody is different. Everybody goes what they want to do, what they want to do. But if it's to choose between staying somewhere where you're depressed and you want to kill yourself, versus packing your bags and going somewhere where you can be alone, have your thoughts, be clear-minded, and give your partner that ultimatum of get yourself together, get yourself right. This abuse has got to stop. This insult has got to stop. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what's happening, but this needs to change if you want me back inside this house. A lot of men know you will never leave them, so they will continue doing what they want to do.
That's so true.
That's also a power play. But the moment you pack your bag and they see they have lost you, some men will even start crying. You see them start rolling on the floor. Like, just know your worth. Some people, like as I said, some people, women will leave. They will just divorce the man and they don't have time. Some women, if they want to do that, they can do that. But staying in a situation where you end up dead, it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't help the woman, doesn't help the man.
It doesn't help anybody.
So, because I hear some men too, they go through this abused women, continuous abuse towards them, and they just stick in there, and sometimes I don't understand it. I can't put my head around it.
I think as well, a lot of it is upbringing. So I was talking to one of my friends, and she was explaining that in our society, from when we're young, women are taught that of course getting married and having a husband and children is the goal. You see it in TV shows from when they're young, Cinderella, all these small shows. The women are taught that they need a man, or that they need a Prince Charming, and it doesn't stop until when now they make it a prime goal that woman, baby, marriage. But as for a man, they make it a prime goal: be successful, have money, be able to take care of yourself. And when you see those two narratives, you understand why a woman feels like she's failed, because it's been put in her head that marriage is the only thing. And I'm meant to say marriage is not the only thing. I'm not saying that, because I know a lot of people, it can be a beautiful thing when you meet your partner, but there's so much more out there as well. Not every woman actually wants to get married. Not every woman wants to have children. There are many different options that different people can take for themselves, and I know it's going to be a shocker because marriage, you must marry.
Like me, your mom, Abby, screaming marriage.
How many people are married and happy in a relationship?
Oh, there's some people that are married.
No. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm not saying they're not married. They're not happy. There are some people that are married.
Yeah.
But think about the people you know
well,
around you, and it's not just you, mom. There's a lot of them that they're in a marriage for the sake of marriage sake, trophy, ceremony, this thing. And it's like, you have the certificate, but you feel trapped. You have the certificate, but you can't wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going to fly and go to so and so, because somebody will shout in your ear that you have not cooked them plantain and egg with rice.
And that you have not taken permission.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That marriage can be a beautiful thing, but also having your own independence, having the ability to live your life the way you want to live it, to care for yourself, to pamper yourself, is also a beautiful thing. If you have a job that you love doing and you're passionate about, that's also a beautiful thing. If you have you know what I mean, there's just so much in life. That's why a man can go till he's 50 something and say he doesn't want to marry till later, because he's enjoying his life.
Yeah, well, because I think men can have kids at any age, but
men
women
can have kids but once again, not all women want kids. One of the things, I was talking to my friend about this as well, and one of the things she said is, this whole marriage thing and children thing, a big motivator for her isn't even wanting it for herself. It's just because her mom keeps talking about it in her ear. Like, okay, she should be happy to find love and all of that, but the whole kids, marriage, it's like drilled into somebody's ear that you must do. You don't need to tell. If somebody wants to marry, they will go and marry. It's the truth now. If you want to marry, you will marry. If a woman is not married, don't look at her like she's unaccomplished or like she hasn't achieved stuff. Because she's probably living a better life than the one that is suffering in the marriage. Leave her alone.
I even had a sermon once in the church. That day, I think I got up out of the church. I walked out of the church. I was pissed.
Yeah.
This man was preaching about a woman being friendly, a married woman being friendly with a single woman. That what business do they have together?
A married man being friends.
A married woman having unmarried friends.
So?
He felt that she should not be friendly with people who are not married.
Life isn't like that. I'm sorry.
I
Life
hear a lot
isn't
of
like
this
that.
sermon and it gives me, I sometimes I feel like, what are you on about?
You know what? Bible describes friendship as something sweet like honey or something. There's a nice, beautiful passage about it. He did not put quotation. Nobody single should not have a friend that is married or married. Like, it's people that are just adding extra stuff.
In fact, I found that you see, single people are even sometimes so good when they're sincere, good friends.
Yeah.
To advise people who are married when they're going through a certain problem on how to walk through it. Another married woman, they lie to themselves. They create this fairy tales marriage that they have with their husband.
Yeah.
Making the other married woman feel like, I won't take that.
Yeah, but they take a lot more.
But they take a lot more.
I think that, yeah, that's it. I feel like you can have friends. Listen, I think you can have friends. Doesn't matter married or single, but have boundaries.
Yeah.
Have healthy boundaries. Respect the wife, respect the husband, but you're put on this earth with billions of people. You don't know who can help you.
Yeah.
You don't know who is going to give you connections to what. You know what I mean? You don't know who is going to be there for you when you need help. All of these things that like stipulations that people try to put, oh, you must not do this. You're just cutting yourself short. See, if a man wants to cheat, he will cheat even with married woman.
Yeah, that's right.
If a man wants to cheat, he will cheat. If woman wants to cheat, she will cheat. All of these things about you can't, won't, should. It doesn't make sense. Have boundaries, be respectful to your partner, and you can maintain positive, healthy relationships with other people. I feel like things are so simple, but people like to take things and make it sound evil or bad, when I feel like it's not like that, you know.
Well, thank you, my darling daughter,
Okay,
for this lovely analysis.
you're welcome.
Well,
Anytime, darling.
anytime, darling. You see, that's what I have to deal with in the house.
I said thank you. I said you're welcome.
I'm just saying, I'm telling them to know that, look, when you have a daughter like this, you know, you must do your research before you sit her down to say you want to talk about anything. If not, you'll be in for the shocker.
Okay, so summarize what we spoke about.
Well, we've basically talked about marriage, self-love,
what it means to be the head of the household, how it's been adjusted to fit, or even the Bible in general has been adjusted to fit people's purposes rather than actually the biblical message. We spoke about domestic violence, emotional violence, how what's it called? Because somebody doesn't have a child or because somebody isn't married doesn't mean that they don't have valuable insight.
Yeah.
We've spoken about cheating, friendships. We've spoken about
quite a lot, yeah, today.
So yeah,
that's nice. Well, guys, drop in your comments.
Wait, are you gonna post this somewhere?
Oh yes, I'm gonna post it. Drop your advice, your beautiful advice for my daughter. Please be respectful. We'll talk about being respectful to one another now, because I know some people, they're so good with.
Because I know there's going to be somebody, I'm the head of your household. Shimon is the head of the household. There's always that one person that's going to be in the comments that will just be shouting, head of household. I'm the head. I must go.
I'm not surprised. She's from a single mom.
Write it there. I would like it.
Please. Be respectful and not disrespectful. So
be
respectful and not disrespectful. And would love to hear from you what you think. And till we'll meet again on another interesting topic with my lovely daughter. And if you want her to talk about any other thing, please put it in the inbox.
Why me? If you want my mother to talk about something,
well, she seems to know more about all this thing than me now, isn't it?
No, I don't know. I don't know more. I think I've just been exposed to a lot of random stuff. I've heard different talks. I've been on Instagram kind of thing. I was
I understand.
I've seen like a whole bunch of different things and all of that kind of pee. Seen things, not necessarily experienced it myself, but secondhand experience is definitely a thing. So yeah.
Let's be careful. Abuse is a no, no, no. For women, no, no. For a man, no, no. For children. And we'll be talking about this soon again, because I noticed a lot of young boys and girls committing suicide, and I really can't understand what is going on. Is it that the parents are no longer available for them to talk, or they're so busy in their job? So that's a topic for another day. Well, see you very soon. Cheers. Bye.
Ciao.